the wrestling industry headed right now? What's going on in the industry?
Well, I've been in the industry maybe 16, 17 years now. This is the worst I've ever seen it, as far as there's not that many places to wrestle. Obviously, there's not that many territories. And, it's a promoter's market right now. The promoter's going to give you what he wants to pay you, and you're going to have to take it or go nowhere else. If you're not in WWF or TNA, where else can you be? No American is making money in Mexico. No American's making money in Puerto Rico. Some Americans are making money in Japan, but a lot of people don't want to go to Japan. So right now it's at an all-time low. And unless they start playing politics and games and get back to business, we're going to stay in the predicament we're in. You can't keep waiting for another rock to come along and save the business.
How do you feel the internet's affected the wrestling industry?
I just think that the internet has just made promoters be a little bit more honest, and as the way that they treat the fans and even the wrestlers. And I just think it's brought a little bit of honesty to this business. I think there's a lot of negativism on the internet when this is, it's mindless entertainment. It is what it is. It isn't, a real big thing on most people's minds or in their worlds except wrestling fans and wrestlers themselves. It is what it is, and I just think that people that are so negative about it should maybe question themselves, what is it that they love about the business, and not always be trying to look for the worst of it. You know what I'm saying?
What, in this part of your career right now, where you're at, what do you want to do next? What are your aspirations? What are your dreams?
My dream would be probably I'm going back to Mexico after 6-year hiatus in 2 months. I want to go back there and be the big name that I was before. And if I could do that, I'm pretty well happy with my legacy in this business. And I've been held back by my own personality, that I'm not that easy to manipulate and I don't go along with the flow. And I understand that. And I'd rather you hate me for what I am than love me for what I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going to keep it real. But the bottom line is this. I think that if I could go back to Mexico, which I'm going back in 2 months, and maybe even be in WWF and do something with Eddie and Ray that I basically did so much with them in AAA in Mexico, I could leave very happy. But if I go back to Mexico and I can gain the spot I had, I'll be just as happy. But those would be the only two things that I haven't done. Unless TNA grows into something big, I'd love to grow with them. But that's about it. I've accomplished pretty much everything I've wanted to.
So is that your goal right now, to get into WWE? And
to Mexico, go to Mexico, grow with TNA, or if something happens at TNA, go and do something with Eddie and Ray in WWF. And that's it.
What's it like working with TNA? How's the locker room there, and how's it feel to be a wrestler and an announcer for them?
The locker room's very relaxed. There's not that much politics. I just think that they're not doing good business. They're like WWF. If they like you, you can do no wrong. If they don't like you, you can do no right. And they're picking a lot of people that shouldn't be in positions that they're in just because they like them or they're favorites of theirs, and business isn't being done in either company.
What's holding the business back from evolving right now?
That the guys in charge aren't doing business. They're not. Look at WWF. Tell me, am I right or am I wrong? How many people wouldn't like to see Booker T in a bigger spot? How many people wouldn't like to see RVD in a bigger spot? But they're being held back because somebody doesn't like him. Why can't they find nothing better to do with Rey Mysterio? Is Bradshaw the best you can do as a champion? He's obviously a favorite of Jim Ross and Michael Hayes and Bruce Pritchard, that Texas clique. And, business just isn't being done. Look at TNA, Goldilocks. She gets more interview time than half the people there. She's in better storylines than half the people there. Why? She's got zero talent.
Do you think the main holdback and everything is creatively, or is it just like people?
I just told you, politics. People that, I like this guy, he's got a good look, let's put him here. I don't like this guy because I don't get along with him. Even though the people love him, I don't like him. Why don't you let the people decide who they like? It makes your job a lot easier. That's exactly what I'm talking about. RVD and Booker T don't get bigger pushes because somebody doesn't like them. And the people, they're feeling them. You can't find something better to do than Rey Mysterio. He's one of your biggest merchandise seller, one of the best wrestlers you have, one of the flashiest dressers. All kids think he's a little kid and they want to play with him, and you can't find better storylines for him. He isn't in a better spot than he should be, but you know what I'm saying? He's like treading water.
Where do you predict the business is going to be in 5 years from now?
Believe it or not, I really do predict this. I don't know where it's going to be in 5 years, much less in 1 year. But I can tell you this, that in 5 years, WWF or TNA will have to have their own Latin American division, because by then somebody will be running wrestling for Latins here. It's going to change the face of wrestling, because you're going to have to give Latinos their wrestling. Just like right now, all the pay-per-view is bought by the Latino fans to see Oscar de la Hoya, Felix Trinidad, Ricardo Mayorga, Fernando Vargas, those guys. Just like Julio Cesar Chavez in his day, Hector Camacho, and same thing with wrestling. You're going to have lucha libre or wrestling geared to our Latin market, guaranteed. Vince McMahon has gotten lucky that nobody else has had the money or has had somebody show him the way yet, but they're starting to find out. And a big business, whether it's Televisa or Galavisión or Pemex or some big Spanish conglomerate, Univision, maybe even NBC in Español, will find out, and that's going to be the wave, I would say, in 5 years, lucha libre or wrestling geared to a Latin market.
Can you tell me, back in the day, back when you were in your peak in Mexico, you and Vamp had really bad blood between each other.
Right.
What was the deal with all that?
We were just both immature, and I think Antonio Peña, who was my boss, he always liked the, glamorous, good-looking guy, and he always kind of was like a mark for Vampiro, and he wanted me to always be competing against him. Oh, Vampiro's going out with this actor, so you need to go out with him. Vampiro did this, and then I think that we're both very rebellious, and I think we were immature, and we had other wrestlers kind of stir up the pot, and we just started to have I think a professional jealousy turned into personal jealousy, and it was just stupid. We were both young, and Mexico wasn't big enough for the both of us. It's like having Axl Rose and Slash in the same group. They just couldn't be there no more. Or Eddie Van Halen and David Lee Roth. As talented as they were, the group wasn't big enough for the both of them. Mexico wasn't big enough for the both of us.
Now, I remember you telling me you used to be a pro boxer. And
amateur boxer.
And you're a big, strong guy. Do you think, is there ever a chance that you'll go into like mixed martial arts? Like
No, I'm too old for that. If I would have done it when I first started, I would have, but mixed martial arts wasn't big when I broke in.